Good afternoon, everybody out there in the internet world. I'm Kevin Addix with the Maryland Wineries Association and Grow Fortify. And as always, we've got a very cool guest. This is someone we've had on before. His internet connection is better this time, I guarantee it. I'd love to bring up Damon Callis from the Urban Winery. Damon, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have you. So I want to go through what you make and all that good stuff, but tell us some big news from Urban Winery.
Oh, big news, sure. So since December of 2020, we had closed our previous location at 949 Bonifant and had moved to 2315 Stewart Avenue. And that's a huge development, not only for us as a young family, but for us as a growing business. We moved from Bonifant, which we were well established and well received in that beautiful community, in Fenton Village. But we now to a larger facility here on 2315 Stewart Avenue, actually 2.5 times larger. So we are able to increase our production. As many of you know, that we're in more and more stores throughout the state of Maryland, and now we're shipping through many states. And with that demand, we needed to create a larger supply. And so thank you to all of you to make that happen. And it just so happened to be in the worst pandemic year of the year, but with all bad things, there are great opportunities, and we wanted to seize on that particular opportunity as well. And George and I are full steam in positive vibes on how 2315 is going to serve the urban winery for the next 10 years and beyond. We've got a great space, a lot of big improvements to our wine production facility, but also some really fantastic ideas that we're exploring about our tasting room, outside seating, and just the events that are coming up here shortly.
So big news that you've moved. I did like saying Bonifant Street.
Yeah, it's got a little like a French twist to it.
Yeah, Bonifant, right. So how are you? Will you have a similar kind of outside feel like you did at the old location?
Yeah, I mean, when you think, urban winery, you should think, urban chic, but with the natural elements that wineries or the agricultural still provide. So yes, of course, we're in this really beautiful industrial park, but when you come into the urban winery, we're going to transform you into a whole completely different location. I mean, it's going to be filled with wood and tile and pastel colors, and it's just going to have a really great selection of wines that we produce, of course. And as many have come to know, that the Urban Winery's concept is taste, learn, create. It's about how we're participating in the world stage of wine, but also sharing, our personal experiences, meeting others in our travels, and just collaborative spirit with those who are in pursuit of the same goals and lifestyle. That taste, learn, create concept with other wines, other beers, and other spirits now. So that's another development. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Now your connection is
now bad. I'm on mute. So tell me about the spirits, because you're in the land of the alcohol beverage service in Montgomery County.
Yeah, if there's a license, I have it. That's for sure. There's, like Kevin says, you can never have enough of those. So I took it upon that to kind of explore those ideas. And craft cocktails is so much a part of our developmental story too. George and I, we distill our grapes as well, make a brandy spirit. But we also, we understand that our customers and our clients are really truly seeking a really interesting experience. And at the Urban Winery, that experience is you get to explore a lot of the Maryland culture of craft. We really focus from here and there. We might deviate, but we're really going to keep a focus on our Maryland produced, MoCo focused distillers, brewers, and wineries. It's still a big passion of ours, because I think we're a part of the story of a bigger story, and through Maryland's development of the industry. And we might be at one end of the spectrum, but we're still part of the spectrum, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
So you've always been kind of a master of innovation and creativity. What are some of the interesting wines that you've created? You've got standard wines which are delicious, but what are some of the kind of interesting new ideas?
Listen, I think when we thought about this prospect of participating in the wine industry, a lot of it was predicated on how do we differentiate ourselves from the norm. Yes, of course, we love the agriculture component. We were full supporters of those things, but George and I weren't into having a large parcel of land and creating our own grapes for that matter. But we really wanted to produce high quality wine. So developing relationships with these farmers has made a difference in our excellence in wine production. And we continue to strive for those, whether it's relationships here in Maryland or Virginia or Pennsylvania or California or New York or even Maine for matters, where we get our natural resources from. Those are all predicated based upon relationships that George and I have developed over the years and in doing collaboration and creating business. Some of the fun stuff that we've been able to create that is outside of the norm of the normal vinicultural culture is low bush Maine blueberry wine. It's fine. It's high in tannin, high antioxidants. As our 100% low bush Maine blueberry wine called the Blue Eyed Good Boy. As this thing continues to age in bottle, it continues to develop beautifully as we anticipated. And this year, 2021, we're also going to be producing this wine again. It's a limited release kind of a situation for us, but it's a fun one to produce.
It's a totally delicious wine. Like, it's an amazing, amazing wine.
Thank you, Kevin. That's very nice of you. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun to make. And the story behind that is, as a child, I used to travel to Maine with my family. Growing up in Connecticut, we used to travel to Maine, and we have a cabin in the woods, and there used to be this little island and this large lake that we used to paddle out to in late July and August, and grab blueberries from the bushes that were naturally occurring there before the bears got to them or the loons. And would bring them back to our campsite and enjoy them either in pancakes or in muffins. And I'm able to do that now. I have 11, 10, and a 5-year-old who all they talk about is going to Maine for his birthday and getting these blueberries. And so, it's a meaningful wine. He's got the blue eyes like his dad, and it was just a way to kind of wrap our family story into something that we enjoy making. And the blueberry Blue Eyed Good Boy is great. But the other side to that is the Blue-Eyed Bad Boy, and that's something that's coming out as the good versus the bad side of the blue eyes. That's going to be aged in bourbon barrels, and it's very delicious, very delicious.
Wow!
Can't wait to share with everybody. But it's almost ready. It's almost ready.
So so you have this new location, and in wine, every year brings new products and projects. The new location obviously taking up a lot of your bandwidth. When people come to visit, will there be flights? Will there be a la carte tastings? How will you operate? I know COVID has changed how a lot of wineries operate, and a lot have said we're not going to go back to come in and try our wines. It's going to be, buy a flight or buy a glass of wine.
Great question.
To be determined?
No, not to be determined. For those who are comfortable, we're ready to operate as normal as it used to be, 100%. We're going to pour delicious flights. We're going to have international flights. We're going to have local flights. We're going to do the tasting menu that we had before without any restriction. Zero. If you feel comfortable, we will serve you in the highest caution, the highest level of service as you can imagine, going anywhere else with that matter. So I think it's important to know we take that very seriously. Georgia's an RN nurse. Her trade, her expertise is in surgical nurse. She's a registered nurse for the operating room. You understand, this is a very highly sanitized process. And Georgia's expertise in this makes her the winemaker that she is. We complement each other on those things. She's the science and I'm the art, I guess. But we like to bicker that way. And she's fundamentally strong in her trade. So we take sanitation and germs and bacteria always has been serious. I can't even remember the last time I've had a cold. It's just a lifestyle. And Georgia's 100%, as much as it drives me nuts, 100% in charge of that.
That's a good thing.
100%. It is a little bit tough. I mean, it's, I got to tell you, but 20 years, man, she's the one. So I follow what she says and I haven't gone wrong since. So good.
So we got some good comments. Claude Mackey coming in as well. Hello, Claude.
What's up, Claude?
And hi to Peggy and hi to Ruthie. Before that.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Cheers.
What has, I want to talk about this wine in a moment, but I used to see the Urban Winery at all manner of festivals and events. What's going to happen this summer? Are you guys ready to get out? How does your germ abhorrent wife feel about going out to events and festivals?
We're ready to go. Yeah. The answer is the Urban Winery is hiring, and the Urban Winery has been hiring. We're looking for enthusiastic individuals who want to share in the be a part of the Urban Winery team and our growth. We're looking to be at every farmers market that will invite us. If we can man it, we'll be there. We're looking to participate in any of the the Maryland Wine Festival events without any hesitation. We're ready to go. At any location you feel like the Urban Winery is a good fit, I will make sure that we can be accommodative to that. Follow the rules, do the things, participate. We're ready.
Everything that we have to do to get it done, right?
I mean, being part of the solution.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, being part of the solution, being on the good side of the story will always prevail. It might be difficult now. I mean, of course, doing the non-talking to people at the table is problematic because, I like talking. I like talking to people. I like sharing what the Urban Winery is all about, what's happening next, and what they're going to experience when they enjoy my wines. That interaction has put me into a different position in a corner that's not my comfort zone. I mean, my comfort zone is getting out in front of meeting people, talking to people, sharing with them about why I love what I do, and maybe they'll like my wine too. So
talk to me a little bit about this wine that you have in your glass.
Oh, man. So I just want to say, when you hear a story from Georgia, remember you're getting a good story. When you want the truth, you come to me and I'm going to finish it 100%. Just don't tell her I said that. Georgia's Reserve. I mean, it was one of those late night occurrences where we were in the hectic mode of bottling and getting things into prior planning prevents poor performance. I've heard that 1,000 times in my Marine Corps career. I took it through my days in finance, and certainly now in winemaking. And when you have a plan and you're dealing with Georgia, sometimes it just doesn't always pan out. So early in the morning, I think this occurred at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning when we were transferring wine, because we're night owls. We're not waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do this. We're not farmers. We're not trying to do farming stuff. We're trying to do wine and science things. So we did this, it was late at night. We were transferring things, and we had this one wine that Georgia has been aging for like 2 years. It's this wonderful, deep, dark, delicious Nebbiolo that we had, and we were just sitting it. 2 years we had it in this barrel. I don't know how it got in there because Georgia put the instruments in the barrel, but we had this awesome, amazing Nebbiolo go into a blend that we had finalized. We had anticipated using it because it was so good. We were like, well, we're not going to put it in. We were going to leave it off to the side. There was a little bit of a banter about do we really want to create a new label for just one barrel? It's that good. We're really just going to make one label, go through this whole process. And so it was a little bit of this and that. It's like, does it make sense to do? Well, of course, Georgia wins all the time. So Georgia wins, says, yes, we're going to do it this way. So we do it that way. In the end, the Nebbiolo goes into the thing anyway. Unintentional. It was in, I told her it was in barrel 4. She put it into barrel 3. It got sucked out, and only after was it fully emerged.
Oh my gosh!
Into the rest of the blend did we discover that. You know what? It turned out just fine.
So you had the blend all worked out, like you knew exactly what was going in. Pick that barrel, let's go, and all of a sudden the blend is different.
I mean, it's darker. The Nebbiolo was just so divine. It was like dark and juicy, and it was tannin staining your mouth. Awesome. Now we have a beautiful blend of wine that is Barbera, Sangiovese, Nebbiolo,
oh, wow,
and Zinfandel. So it is the Georgia's Reserve 2016 is now hitting its high end of it. It's been sitting in bottle for 3.5 years. We've slowly trickled it out, monitoring its sales. But right now, it's got to be at its awesome level. It's fantastic.
I have to.
Dark. It's amazingly juicy. Let me just try it for you.
While you're doing that, we have to point out Jim's comments in the words of Bob Ross, an icon. No mistakes, yes. Just happy accidents.
Happy accidents at 2:00 in the morning. Awesome. Yes.
Was there any level?
You think I can get like that out there?
Yeah. Was there? You can. Yeah. Was there any level of regret or remorse?
I mean, there was definitely a little bit of like you screwed up, man.
What have I done?
Like, what have I done? But you can't. You. Of course, you just. Hey, it's part of the winemaking process, baby.
Can't look back.
So it's all good. And you know what? We're not looking back, and we're certainly there's no regrets. It's a fine cellar. It cellars well, and it's phenomenally enjoyable. So for those who want to enjoy it, check it out. We're it's online, so it's available to ship, and I don't think you'll regret it. It's a fun one.
Damon, do you have a bottle of it? You could show the label. Great.
There it is.
Great.
It's got a little bit of our story, how we came to be the Urban Winery. This is a fun label. It's with our Gold Reserve flag.
Now, the Gold Reserve, what wines do you reserve for the Gold Reserve? What rises to that level? Currently
is, I think there's only 2, but we only have one that's released. So the other one is our Merlot Reserve. That's also just was released to our Barrel Club. It's a 2015 Merlot Reserve from our friend Mark Cascio from Cascio Vineyards off of Kent Island. This was done very old school style, natural fermentation barrels with French oak barrels. It feels very well cellared after these 6 years. It got really nice cellar dank to it. I like the word dank. I don't know, maybe that's not an appropriate word, but it's got a cellared mustiness to it, and I just love that about that particular wine. I've always loved, old world Merlot, and I think this one hits the mark. But it's certainly no French Merlot, but it certainly tastes like it.
That's all right. That's good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Damon, tell us how you and Georgia got into this. What was the moment? And what led up to that moment where you guys said, all right, we're going to do this. We're starting a winery.
That's been the story for the last 6 years is like, we started off with an idea about changing our career, finding a lifestyle that was suitable to us and our family, our growing family. George and I been together for a number of years, And we wanted to participate in the craft industry, and being a part of this industry is certainly is a lifestyle change, because it has certainly its ups and its downs. But we did it because we loved making wine. We love the process of sharing that with others, to give others an opportunity to enjoy our wines in a fun setting, that they could unwind, relax, talk with others, and do it in such a way where, you can learn along the way. I think the longevity of our success will be about our continued development of education about our industry. I mean, it continuously changes. Every year is different. The relationships you build are certainly meaningful, and they're lasting. And those are truisms. Like truism, like you wake up every day and you know that you got to put your boots on and go to work and have fun doing what you do. It might be difficult day to day, but that was really the premises of it. The genesis of our existence was pareia, philotimo, agape. Those are Greek words. They're on our wines, but they're meaningful in our philosophy. I mean, agape is having an unconditional love, not only for the friends and family that you know, but for yourself, and in how you approach the day-to-day challenges, period. Philotimo is having the spirit to do it, giving you the fight, the energy, the effort, the perseverance to tackle the day amongst a heavy amount of burden. If it's a farmer and they get frostbite after the first buds, that sucks. If it's a lot of rain in the end of September and the grapes swell, it's terrible. As an urban winery, when there's logistical challenges, there's challenges everywhere. Being able to source grapes gives us a little bit of that flexibility of excellence. But having the philotimo, the agape, and then you do it for friends, right? Pareia is a big deal, right? Bringing people together, your pareia, is important. It's important to our culture. It's important to American culture. It's important to Greek culture. It's about bringing people together over a common glass of wine, and being able to participate in sharing that. It's a cool feeling. It's a good feeling. So philotimo, agape, pareia, they're not just wines on our label. They're a part of our everyday life that we strive to do every day.
So a lot of Greek influence.
Greek American. I mean, yeah. I mean, Greek is in our blood. I mean, we just celebrated Greek Easter, a week and a half ago, 10 days ago or so. Greek American history is having a consistency of knowing where you're from and where in your place in the world or society. It's good. It's meaningful. It's worth sharing. Everybody's got a great story. I sat and listened to your last Wine Wednesday with a young lady from Lowe's. She's doing a phenomenal job. Yeah. 5th year German, meadery. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's phenomenal stuff. I mean, that kind of story is what makes everybody here successful. I mean, George and I's story is one story, and how we got to be. Pretty soon it'll be Stephen, Sophia, and Stella's story if they continue to do that. Maybe they'll be the 4th generation winemakers, and I hope so. I mean, we're trying to build a legacy that would provide them that opportunity, whether it's just an urban winery or what we do in the future. George and I, you only live once, so we're gonna ride it hard.
What do the kids think growing up in the winery, in the tasting room in the winery?
When your kindergartner participates in making a town out of tissue boxes, and you got some kids making police stations and fire stations, bakeries, but when your kid makes a perfect resemblance of the urban winery of Silver Spring, and you go into the classroom and you see this wonderful town that all these kids participate in doing. Sometimes there's 2 bakeries, sometimes there's 2 police departments, but there's only one urban winery And so, I mean, the kids are in it, man. They're embedded to it, and they know nothing. I mean, I remember my kids running through the 2x4s from the first build, in and out of the thing as the place is being built. I mean, the only difference between this build and now that I'm making this memory a new build, I remember back in 2015, Bethesda Beat took a picture of the place, and inside the space it had an 80-pound heavy bag, a punching bag that was in this. The place was a kickboxing studio, right? It was a dojo from a martial art expert. And I took over the place, but inside there was a hanging place, and I put up an 80-pound punching bag because I was, remember, dealing with the state, the state, Montgomery County, the feds. And I took to that bag like a sense of relief, like you wouldn't believe. So now I think at this juncture, I gotta go dust off those gloves a bit and start hitting some bags, because it's getting there now.
It's time.
I got to loosen up. I got to do some some neck jabs, and some head movement, and get my my speed bag up again, because I love boxing. But yeah, it's time to get that bag up for sure. It's definitely a grind currently, but if it was easy, everybody would do it.
So I gotta take a pause because someone just texted me and said, "But what are you drinking?" And I've got a wine. I could not find my bottle of Urban Winery.
I thought about that, Kevin. Listen, I wanted to say on air to everybody that I apologize, but it's in the mail. I will send you.
You do not need to. I have it somewhere. I have a bourbon barrel Merlot somewhere in the basement in the wine closet. So I'm sure I'll find it tomorrow. But I did manage to pull a neighbor of yours up the road, not too far away. Have you had this?
Oh, you know what? No, I would love to try.
So Tommy Evans is the cider maker. Yeah, so he's the cider maker, Tommy Evans, and he purchased a farm in Montgomery County and has been chasing this dream of heirloom apples and making cider. And in addition to making some really, really good cider, this is a semi-sweet hard cider with some nice fizz to it. It sure foams up the glass. The dude is a comedian. We got to have him on this. He is hysterical. Is
he funnier than me? He's funnier than me.
He is. I'll say this here, and I'll apologize as well. He is funnier than you, Damon. But we got to get the two of you together. And if you need some cider, you should track these guys down and try it.
Hey, if he can find the, what the hell does she want? Georgia wants a Jamaican black apple, Jamaican Golden King apple. She wants this specific apple. I got to ask her what it is, but it's some kind of an exotic apple that she wants to create this cider rosé with, and this very special. I haven't been able to find it. So maybe the universe now, I put it out there. Reach out to me if you know anything.
Yeah. I'd say between Tommy and then Rob up at Distillery Lane Cider Works, if this apple exists, they'll find it.
I'm in search of apples, man.
You're in search of apples. So, Damon, as we kind of start wrapping up, what is it that what's your timeline? When do you think people can come in and give us a kind of a layout or I guess a roadmap of timing, but also what people are going to be trying? Like, what do you have now that's available?
Sure. So,
in addition to the amazing Georgia's Reserve.
In addition to Georgia's amazing reserve, which is available, you can come to the Urban Winery right now. Call ahead if you prefer. Make a reservation. Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, Wednesdays and Sundays we're open as well. But for bottle service, we are requesting to come and make a reservation on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. We have a list on our Facebook page of the participating food trucks that will be here at the Urban Winery up through June 30th. As we continue to develop those food truck opportunities and develop our tasting room, we're going to be continuously posting those opportunities and the specialty wines that we're also going to be tasting at those events. Things are certainly developing at the Urban Winery. So as we are currently, we're able to provide you with flights, bottle service, and wines by the glass when there's a food truck available. If there's not a food truck available, we can only sell you the bottle to go. But as we continue to develop those things, you're going to start to see that as we get closer to opening, our full service menu will continue to be up there. Some of the specialty items that we've had in the past will be on our menu. Our lovely Greek lamb chops, the Greek meatballs, and the avocado toast will all be continuously on the menu. But you got to come to expect that there's going to be new phenomenal things that are going to be added to the menu at the Urban Winery. And our lineup of wines will continue to be as robust as they've ever been, with over 100 bottles of wine by the glass and new things coming and developing. So you're always going to find something new, something fresh. There's still going to be some kind of a specialty, either beer or cocktail, happening at the Urban Winery. We start live music. We start events. We're taking reservations now for October events right now because we wanted to give ourselves a little leeway. Probably start to opening that for September. But as we get closer and closer towards an opening date, which is still is still currently undetermined, we're just going to try to operate the best way we can to satisfy, our growing demand and our need in our community. So as best way we can, we're open now and we're open for business.
I love it. Well, listen, I got to thank you for joining us. It's always great to see you, and I wish we'd see each other more frequently in person. It's been over a year.
I know. I mean, it's okay. That's okay, Kevin. I still feel very connected to you no matter what, because I love what you're doing. I think you're doing a phenomenal job. I really do. Your support for us has been great over the years. You've provided some valuable insight. But just how you've expanded into doing these types of online events, and your willingness to do some offsite events too. And I know that's a huge thing. Listen, the Urban Winery will be a participant in every event that the Winery Association brings out. If there's other events that we could participate in, we want to be part of the solution, and we want to continue to grow with the success of others and seeing others come on to the game. If there's ever an opportunity for me to connect with somebody you think that would benefit from meeting me or I meeting them, we're open to it. We want to share new businesses in our business. If this cidery works can get to the Urban Winery, let's feature you. Let's have a conversation. The other wineries in Montgomery County, we're coming. We're going to be talking with them as well. We're going to start having these types of conversations and bringing more of awareness to our industry and the people who have great stories like us. So we're happy to participate, and we're eager to share that opportunities with others.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and as always, it's a team effort. So thank you for your support, and please say hi to Georgia.
Sorry she wasn't able to be here.
We'll catch her. We'll
the better side of the equation. She is.
Well, we know that, but sometimes we got to deal with you, right?
Yeah. This is what you get.
It's perfect. So please give her our regards, and thanks for joining us.
Pleasure's mine. Cheers to everybody. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much to Damon for joining us. Great to have him on from the Urban Winery. You've got officially 3 more days to sign up for the Wine Explorer Club and the wines, and to check it out. I'm doing my Fox News, MSNBC scrolling here. So just very much appreciate all of the support. Great wines that you can get exclusively through that club and packaged all up for you, so you don't have to drive all around the state. And look, just want to say thanks for joining us again and for continuing to be a great supporter. One last comment from Denise saying, can't wait to visit. Denise, get there and visit. Damon and Georgia are wonderful, and the place is very cool. And of course, the wines. So with that, Cheers.